be supported by
Okay.
by the Arab
Okay.
world.
Andrew Ling, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on that story. Meanwhile, Ukraine has secured the release of a group of prisoners of war in its latest exchange with Russia. President Vladimir Zelensky has confirmed today, while the number of those freed was not disclosed. Kyiv's Coordination Council for Prisoners of War stated that the group included injured and ill individuals, many of whom had been held since the early months of Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. President Zelensky reiterated his commitment to bringing every Ukrainian home, thanking all those involved in facilitating the exchange. Meanwhile, tensions continue to escalate as Ukraine marks 100 days since Russia rejected a United States-backed proposal for a complete ceasefire. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andrei Sybiha accused Moscow of intensifying hostilities. Instead of seizing the opportunity to end the conflict, he called on Ukraine's international partners to increase pressure through sanctions and continued military aid, insisting that the time to act is now. Despite proposals from the West and Ukraine's stated readiness for peace, Russia has set conditions and maintained a hardline stance, further complicating efforts to reach a resolution. Gilbert Doctorow, Russian affairs expert, is joining us live from Brussels. Gilbert, thank you for being with us on NewsX World. Prisoner exchanges, of course, continue between the two sides, but have we reached any closer to any sort of peace deal, or is that still a while away?
The exchange of prisoners is a positive development, which we all can praise. It shows that the discussions that were held in 2 sessions in Istanbul have produced some results at the technical level. I say technical level, that is what the negotiators consider this. At the human level, the families, the loved ones of those who have been returned, of course, can take great pleasure in seeing them once again. Nonetheless, and to answer your question, this development has no bearing on the conclusion of a truce, not to mention conclusion of a peace treaty. And Mr. Zelensky's remarks criticizing Russia for spending 100 days resisting the conclusion of the peace or a ceasefire is utter nonsense. He is repeating the same remarks everywhere that he goes. He is looking for financial and military aid wherever he goes. And as we just saw in the past week, when he was attending the G7 conference in Alberta, he's getting nothing.
Yes. Also, of course, now, do you believe that with countries, different countries across the world's attention being towards the Iran-Israel conflict, that is going to delay some sort of efforts to continue the talks between Russia and Ukraine, or do you believe those will happen simultaneously?
Well, as they broke off, following the second meeting in Istanbul, there was no prospect of any progress because both sides were demanding that the other side capitulate. Now, that is an impossible situation. It expresses the utter irrealism of Mr. Zelensky's position, the utter rejection of the real situation on the ground battlefield by his European backers. It is not supported, his position is not supported by Donald Trump, which is the main reason why Trump left the G7 meeting early. And that is of decisive importance because despite all the rhetoric coming out of the European institutions, leaders, mainly the foreign minister, one can call her, Kallas, and the chairman of the commission, von der Leyen, there is no prospect of Europe saving Ukraine. They don't have the materiel, they don't have the money, and they don't have the will. So Mr. Zelensky's hopes for European salvation are completely misplaced. As for the United States, so long as Mr. Trump is in control, and that is of course always open to question because he has many enemies, but so long as he is in control, Zelensky will get nothing.
All right, more news that we're tracking this hour. Gilbert, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.